Mighty Rhinos, hear our call. Through trials and triumphs, we stand tall. In this podcast journey, we find our way. Together united, brighter days that stay.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Mighty Rhinos podcast. 2026 season is about to get underway. God, it's good to be back. Feels like ages ago since we went through all this palaver with the game with St Helens. Obviously, that ended our season in horrible fashion. But saying that, it's a brand new season now. It's been and gone. Congratulations to the Rovers, who won all 3 trophies last season. But yet again, it's a new season, so I'm sure they'll be wanting to carry on, or if not do better than last year with a win against Leeds in Vegas and beating the Brisbane Broncos for World Cup Challenge would be definitely icing on the cake, with a cherry on top. So hopefully that may happen, but let's go into the Rhinos. So I did a news round, I think it was last week. Couple of injuries and stuff that I mentioned. So we went into the third round, although a third round tie against Widnes Vikings, which was at home to the Vikings. The Rhinos won the game 25 points to 12. So yeah, it's like I say, looking at the team sheet now. So we had George Brown, Ryan Hall, Ned McCormack, Harry Newman, Riley Lum, Brodie Croft, Ethan O'Neill played at scrum half. So there were no Jake Connor, Michael Ledsky, Jared O'Connor, Tom Holroyd, Callum Watkins, Presley Cassell, which I'm really happy he were playing in that game. Just in general, I hope he gets more game time as the season goes on. Bench was Cooper Jenkins, Tom Nicholas Watton, Danny Levi and Fergus McCormack. 18th man was Ben Littlewood. A bit of an odd lineup, I won't lie. It's nice to see, some youngsters getting a chance out there. I thought Ned McCormack played brilliant in that game. Definitely, he's one to watch. When you think about it now, you've got with Harry Newman leaving at the end of the season. There's a centre up for grabs. So who's to say we don't give it to another youngster coming through? It certainly worked wonders for us before. We had Newman, obviously Callum Watkins as well. So we obviously do well in that situation with centres. But yeah, it was nice to see Riley Lum play as well. Wanting to see Mako Sivor in a lineup at some point. He needs game time massively. George Brown played really well as well. And I tell you what, there's one player in particular in this game, just the way he moved. And I know about the player to a degree. I know that he's talented. But the way he played that game when he came off the bench, I just thought he's going to do some stuff this year. He's definitely that player that we need off the bench that's going to turn some heads. And that's Danny Levi. What a game that guy had off the bench. I think there's still a lot more to come from him. I don't think we saw him at his ultimate best, but the pass from Brodie Croft with his try, that was just great. How they just knew where each other was. Just amazing. So we'll go through the game. So we went over. I think we were Brown. The first try of the game. quite weird to see Callum Watkins kicking. I know he's a kicker. I know he can kick. It was nice to see, to be fair. I would have expected someone else kicking. But by looking at that lineup, I suppose there's no one really there that could kick. I mean, Brodie Croft could have kicked. I'm sure one of the youngsters could have done it. But yeah, no, it was nice to see. So we end up going into the game. We're winning the game. Was it 15 minutes in? We score on 7th minute, 15 minutes in. Butt scores. Very, very good kick through, to be honest, by one of the lads. I can't remember who it was. Off the cuff try. It was very well worked, to be fair. We hit back with Daniel Levi. Beautiful try on 32nd minute. Then we scored more or less 3 minutes later with a Brown with his second try. And then, we were looking okay, and then Butt goes over again for his second try also. I'll be honest, and I've got to say it because it did frustrate me massively. The comments I'm about to say that need to be said, I really strongly do believe they need to be said. Obviously, this game was televised on YouTube, which was the first time. Obviously, apart from maybe some at Wetherby Whaler games, I'm sure they were maybe on YouTube before. I'm not sure, not 100%. But first like big game that we've ever had on YouTube as like Challenge Cup sort of thing. I thought they did really well, YouTube. I'll be honest. Hats off to them. I thought the televised, the way they set it all up and that, I thought they did really well. I hope that can continue. And, a lot of people might not have Sky and stuff, so it would be nice to see them do that more often. Even maybe show some at Championship games on there would be quite nice as well. But yeah, certainly see some more would be great. Yeah, what I need to say is, in the game itself, obviously there were a chat. Everyone were chatting while the game were on, obviously in the chat room. Some atrocious comments coming out to Leeds. Not buying a season ticket this year. Rhinos are shite. Absolutely appalling. They're not going to do nothing. And I had to bite my tongue a little bit because I know, everything's banter. I get all that. I really do get all that. I know banter. I used to work at a building site. I know banter. I know it's very much off the cuff. A lot of stuff ain't always meant how it is. But the thing for me is, Rhinos haven't won out since 2017, and it's about time Leeds start pushing for that now. And I just think you played a Widnes Vikings team, right? Which in Challenge Cup, 3rd round Challenge Cup. Say Widnes Vikings, that's a cup final, right? Don't care who you are, that's a cup final. I'm not saying it ain't for Leeds, but Leeds know that they've got the quality in the team, especially off the bench. They didn't have a full strength side. I'm not putting excuses out there and saying that we had a poor side. We didn't, but we still had a few people missing in there. 100% wasn't our full strength side. That said, I thought Widnes played outstanding. I really did, and I didn't expect anything different. I mean, you look at the other fixtures. I think Rovers put 104 points past we're at Loch Lane. St Helens put 98 points past. Can't remember it. What we played 98-2, I think it was. Hull FC 60-0. There was all these big scorelines, and I knew full well it wouldn't be Leeds. Leeds wouldn't go out and put 70 points past a Widnes Vikings team. I just knew it'd be us that'd probably have that trump card game, where everyone would be looking at us going, "Oh, Leeds are rattling. Leeds are gonna lose." And at times there were moments in the game where I did think, shit, we need to look out a little bit here. They did really well. Did Widnes? I think they should hold their head held high. I thought they played really well. I thought Jordan Abdul played really well. I mean, not surprised, of the talent that he withholds. He's an ex Super League player that technically is probably still Super League level. Could have very, very easily. Very strange for me. Very strange how, he didn't sign for, say, York, or he didn't sign for Bradford even, or, I wouldn't say Toulouse, but definitely York. They walked into that York team at number 6 or 7. They'd have probably been even better, into the big games. He can goal kick. He's good. His kicking game is pretty decent. He's got a good eye foot game. A little bit like Connor has. His pinpoint kicks are pretty decent. And he's got an oomph on his kick as well. He can't half kick a ball. So I do think he carried that Widnes team. Definitely stood out like a sore thumb in that game. I did think they deserved the credit, the Widnes. We played them at home in front of their home crowd. Did I think we were going to win? Yes, I did. Probably, yeah. Would have liked to have seen a better scoreline than that, but it is what it is. I just thought, yeah, it were a tough encounter, and this is what people don't get, right? Is I prefer them games. Because you look at the Saints game, you look at the Rovers game, 104-0, 98-2, right? They're not competitive games. They're not games where you're breaking a sweat and you're going, shit, we've got a game here. Like, we had to win hard in that game. We had to even get a drop goal, for crying out loud, because we were that concerned at one point that they were going to come back. I think at what were it now? Were it 12 all? Were it 12 all? I can't even remember now. Oh, I can't remember. My head's gone. I can't remember. There was a point where we were level, and we were. It could have gone either way if they'd carried on starting like they were. We didn't play as best, I'll be honest. But this is a thing, you see. It's his first game at season. Technically, it's the first game of the season. I haven't played a Super League game yet. First game, which Challenge Cup, which is an odd one, really, because I don't normally think that's ever happened before. I'm sure it's a few rounds in normally before you get a Challenge Cup game, so a bit of an odd one. But obviously, we've got more teams this season, so that's probably why they've had to move the fixtures around. Yeah, I just thought it was a good competitive game, and they're the games that show you're worthy in them games, because yeah, it's Widnes Vikings. You're like, oh yeah, we should have nilled them or whatever. Leeds Rhinos, all that stuff, but it don't matter. End of the day, it's Knockout Rugby's Challenge Cup. I don't think we'll play like that again in next round. No matter who we have, even if you have Rovers in next round, I don't think we'll play like that again. And it's like a little itch, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like you've got to get your boots dirty. It's first game run out sort of thing. We're not 100%. Fitness probably. With it being first round. Everybody don't start amazing. Do you know what I mean? Unless you're playing Loch Lane and whoever St Helens played, it's a bit different, isn't it? But I just think it's good. It's good to get a bit of a competitive game. Give us a bit of a scare, give us a bit of a kick up backside. I don't think any team, or to be fair, any team really goes out there and thinks, yeah, we've got the game, because I think it's a bit disrespectful to other teams to think that. But I did think we had the quality in the team to do it. It was just kind of when that sucker punch try were going to come, and it did come on the 67th minute by Riley Lum, which I thought was a very good try. Very bad defence. on Widnes' part. I think if that were a Super League team, I don't think he'd have scored that at all. But it were nice to see. It were a nice try to close the game out. Obviously, Brodie Croft got a drop goal in the 74th minute. That sealed the game. And obviously, the game ended 25 points to 12 to Leeds Rhinos, which put them in the hat for the next round. So, I'll start again. Unlucky on Widnes Vikings. They deserved the game of how they played. Could have gone either way towards the end. I think if we turned off at the end, I think they could have come back. But all in all, I'm pleased with the first run out. Like I say, we've got a few bodies yet to come back. I think it's only time will tell, I suppose, at this point. I just don't want us to start like we did last year, where we started quite poorly. It's just one of those. Nobody knows what's going to happen in the season. We're all going to dip in form. That's guaranteed. It's when obviously that happens. I would rather Leeds dip probably in the middle of the season. Would be nice, and that and then kind of get bodies back for second part of the season, pushing for the playoffs maybe. But it's a long season. It's going to be a really, really drawn out season is this year. We're having 14 teams in. It's 2 extra teams. I'm sure the playoff situation's changing as well. A lot more games. It's going to be tough. Fitness is going to be really a test this year, especially for these 3 new teams. To be fair, that I don't think they're going to know what hit them. For being honest, they're all going to want to. I wouldn't say right some wrongs, but they're all going to want to show why they should be in there. Which fair play to them. I do think they'll struggle. I really do think all 3 will struggle. Maybe not Bradford, but I think York and Toulouse will struggle. Toulouse will probably finish bottom, I think. But we'll just see. Time will tell, obviously. So yeah, that's obviously the first episode of the Mighty Rhinos podcast. Very pleased to get it out and recorded. As it just been, the first game. So we have. I don't even know. Don't even quote me on it. I don't even know when the game is. It's stupid. I know. I don't even know when the game is. But I know we've got Lee. We've got Lee, the first game of the Super League season, not York, because I was an absolute tool and said we had York. And what it was is I got it wrong, and York is the first home game of the season. And I thought it was the first game of the season, but it's not. So we've got Lee away, which will be very, very tough. Very tough. I can't even call that result, if I'm being honest. That could go either way. That's definitely a flip of the coin. Regardless whether it's first game at season, last game at season, it's a playoff game, whatever. I couldn't call it. I really couldn't. I think what Adrian Lamb's done with the team is absolutely top draw. They're definitely the team that scares other teams. And, similar to Wakefield are going to be like that as well, or are like that. Got to really watch out for them sort of teams. So that will be a tough game. And then we've kind of pressures off a little tiny bit. The next game, which is home to York, for the second round. That might be a little bit easier because I do think these teams are going to struggle with fitness. Really are going to struggle with fitness, and you'll definitely tell. I think around 60th, 65th minute of every game this year, I think you're going to find these teams struggling. Some may overcome it and end up winning games, and fair play. I hope they do. But I do think there's going to be in a lot of arm wrestle games this season where you are going to get, York Knights are going to be away at Huddersfield, and they're going to be in there. It's going to be maybe 12-10 or something at Huddersfield, and they're going to be last 15 minutes. Right, we'll just stick in here, and Huddersfield will just take it away with fitness. It will happen. Stuff like that will happen this year, and they'll just have to take it. They'll just have to take it, and you only come back stronger, don't you? I mean, it was only a few years ago that happened with Lee, and they're now at the point now where they're competing and they're consistent and the matching, not only consistent but the matching teams, which is exactly where, to be fair, where everyone should be. And obviously Rovers, should have probably been the first ones to mention. But yeah, teams like that, they're up there and they're consistent and they're staying there, and that's what the big thing is. So for Rhinos, St Helens, even Wigan, we've all got to step up this year. If we want to even have a sniff at any silverware, definitely Rovers have set the platform for the season. Not going to be easy for them either. And I'm sure my friend Carl will be honest and say that as well. He now will get the feeling that me and Gaz had with success. Everybody's out to get you. You only can go one way when you're at the top. It would be nice to see Rovers win something again this year, regardless whether it's all three or even winning World Cup Challenge even. It would be nice to see them, at least keep or retain some of the silverware. It will be very hard to retain all three trophies. Is it doable? Yes. Do I think they'll do it? No, I don't. I don't think they will. I think Wigan will take one of the trophies. I think they've got to after last year. There's chance for Rhinos to get in there in the mix. Don't know if we're quite there just yet of winning any trophies. We get a good run in Challenge Cup, you never know. I think Challenge Cup is probably his best chance at something. Yeah, I do think Challenge Cup, even leaders in a massive, out there thing. Do you know what I mean? It could happen. I'm not saying it will, but it could happen. I think going to Old Trafford and winning Old Trafford would be an hard task in itself at the moment, with how we are losing a lot of players at the end of the year. Got a lot of injuries already. So it's going to be tough for us, I think, the first few rounds. So we'll just see how we get on. But yeah, that's the first episode of the Mighty Rhinos podcast. Challenge Cup, third round. Widnes Vikings 12, Leeds Rhinos 25 with a full-time score. And I will join you in the first game of the season next week, I believe it is. We're away at Lee. I'm going to say Lee Centurions, and I'm going to literally say Lee Centurions. I don't know why. We're away at Lee Leopards. Be interesting game. Very, very tough game. Probably one of the biggest games of the round, if not the round. We'll just see what happens. And we'll talk on here and get your views and opinions, hopefully. And by the way, I hope you like my new backgrounds that I've got. This will be the Challenge Cup background that I will be having. So I'll have the team sheet there for Rhinos. I'll have the scoreline, the scorers, and just kind of keep it like that. And I've got a different one for the Super League one. So I've got the Super League table, a table that I've made on the right hand side. Obviously, this ain't going to be for every game. This is just Challenge Cup, this one. So yeah, a little bit playing around. Quite excited, very excited for it all to happen again. We all go around again. Join us. We have got the first episode to Yorkshire for a Sane podcast, Rugby League podcast. We are recording tomorrow night. will probably be released Tuesday afternoon. Join myself, Mr. Carl, and Mr. Gaz for that episode. Very excited, all three of us, to be back. We just go again, don't we? We just go again. So for me and my team, which is just me, I bid you a farewell, and I will see you for the next episode. Cheers, guys.